Inside today's video, I'm going to share with you how I did my first fix and flip, where I made $59,694.58. Yo, what's up guys? Felix from Giant Lifestyle. Welcome back to the channel. So in the last real estate video I posted where I explained to you how I did my first wholesale deal and got a $6,000 assignment fee, I got a lot of great feedback. So I figured I'd step it up a notch and share with you guys how I did my first fix and flip where I made almost $60,000. Now the first thing I'm going to show you guys is the before and after pictures. Then I'm going to break the deal down A to Z and share with you all the challenges I faced and all the things that I went through as I completed the project. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so let's get right into the video. Now before we get started, go ahead and comment down below which part of the house is your favorite. Me personally, I love the kitchen and I love the bathroom, especially the raining down shower head. Now this deal took place from March of 2018 until April of 2019. So the way that I found the property was actually through a contractor, and I got referred to this contractor from a real estate guy. Now it's crazy because I thought the real estate guy that I asked for a contractor referral was trying to help me, but after I seen the contractor's true colors, I basically realized that the real estate guy that I asked for a referral for was basically trying to set me up. He was trying to set me up with a really crappy contractor, and this guy had terrible communication skills. He wasn't even that good of a contractor. He was bad with money, and literally within the first couple days I met him, he was asking me to lend him money so that he could fix up one of his other deals and that he was going to give me a ROI on my money. But at that time, I didn't really feel that comfortable with it, and the amount that he was asking for the amount that he was willing to give back, it really didn't spark my interest. And now that I know what kind of person he is, I'm glad I didn't do it. Number one rule in real estate is don't give anybody money. You only pay once the work is completed. Now you can buy the materials, but you never give a contractor money up front. If they say, hey, I take a deposit, say, hey, you go take a deposit with somebody else. We don't give deposits. The first word in contractor is con. So when they do you dirty or they do bad business, don't be surprised. A lot of them are good with their hands, and I respect people who are good with their hands, but they don't actually know how to run a business. So what they'll do a lot of the time is they'll take money from Peter to pay Paul, and they'll always be chasing their tail on projects because they don't actually have the skills of entrepreneurship, which is time management, money management, organization. There's so many other skills, and they're kind of stuck in that E quadrant of the cash flow quadrant because they never actually leveled up to entrepreneur or investor. So how I got the deal, like I said, was I got it from a real estate guy that I thought was pointing me in the right direction, but he actually ended pairing me up with this really crappy contractor. Now, the one thing the contractor did have was he had access to this property that I just showed you. Now, this property, what I could have sold it for if I wasn't so backed up on the hard money loan, like I will explain in this video, is he had a deal. The property was worth around $250,000, and he had it available to be under contract for $30,000. He actually had it under contract for $25,000, and I bought it for $30,000, which is extremely rare. So I initially put it under contract with him in March of 2018. We didn't actually close on the property until the end of May 2018 because after dealing with the hard money company, the attorney that was working with the seller, the contractor who wanted his assignment fee, and pairing them all up together, it was a total nightmare. Not to mention the city and all these other certifications that I ended up having to get just to close on the property. It took a long time. There was even a time where the attorney working with the seller told me, hey, look at this deal, just go on, don't worry about it, find another deal. But a part of me said, no, I know this deal is going to be worth it. And after I look at all the relationships and connections that came through this deal and business partners that I now have from this deal, I'm glad I persisted because even though I learned a lot and I might have made a lot of mistakes, I not only got a lot of valuable lessons, but I also got a lot of valuable connections. So I told them, hey, no, we're going to persist with this. We're going to keep doing it. And what I actually had to do, me and my business partner had to call the seller's attorney, and we actually drove all the way down to South Jersey to try to get access to the seller's attorney because they weren't trying to answer our phone calls. So that was really difficult, but we persisted and we finally closed on the deal in May of 2018. Now, we financed the deal with a hard money lender called Do Hard Money. Now, a lot of hard money lenders will ask for a few things. One, they're going to ask for 10 to 20% of the purchase price. With us buying it at $30,000, it still wouldn't have been a lot. But what they do ask is they ask for experience. A lot of hard money lenders want borrowers to be having experience, and they don't want to deal with newbies. So we actually got hooked up with a hard money company called Do Hard Money. Now, Do Hard Money actually has a criteria where they can finance a deal with no money down. So that is a requirement that we somehow fell into. Now, if you go to get signed up with them, they're really more in the business of what I put together of, one, hoping people mess up on their property so they could take the house, and then two, charging crazy education fees. Just to get associated with them, you have to pay them $3,000, which doesn't really make sense. Before you even can get a deal with them, you have to pay them $3,000, which is crazy. And then they have a lot of slow processes. So one, they're not local in your state, which can be really slow with getting evaluators out to go see the updated process on your draws. And two, they take a long time to pay out draws, but they do give you the opportunity, if you are a new investor, to work with them, and if you have not a lot of money down. But at the same time, they have this calculator where you can evaluate deals, and the deal that I'm talking about in this video, I got to basically go into the deal where all I had to do was pay the closing costs to buy the property, but at other times they said I had to bring $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to closing. So the deal calculator that they have on their site or in their program is really all over the place. But luckily, with the ARV that was involved with this deal, with the low amount of repairs, the closing cost was pretty low, but the interest rate was pretty high. So the interest rate on that was pretty high. So basically what happens is, after you get a deal approved and you close on it, what they do differently than other hard money companies is they actually give you 10% of the rehab. So they gave us 10% of the rehab. So the rehab was $61,000, and they gave us $6,100 at closing to start the rehab process. Now, as far as the interest rate, it ranged between 13 and like 18%, which is really high for hard money companies, when typically it can range around 3 to 9%. So it was actually really high, but at the same time, we lucked out because we got some startup money. Because think about it, if you don't get startup money, you might have to pay $3 to $5K out of pocket for a demo, maybe $3 to $5K for electric, and then maybe $3 to $5K for plumbing, and then you get paid out. So that's how the process works with fix and flips, is you do a little bit of work, you get paid out, you do a little bit of work, you get paid out, you do a little bit of work, you get paid out. So if these banks and these lenders have the mindset of you do the work, then we'll pay you, you should think the same way, and you should never pay a contractor any money unless the work has been completed. You can buy them the materials, but you never pay them unless the work has been completed, because there's a good chance that they could easily just run off with your money and never actually complete the work. So to recap, I got the property under contract. We closed in May of 2018, and they gave us $6,100 for the initial part of the construction. Now, that contractor who brought us the deal, I was originally going to have him be on the deal to fix it up, but he didn't even make it that far without exposing himself with the bad business he conducts. So we had to get rid of him, and we met another contractor, and with being kind of newbie in the fix and flip space, I ended up hiring a contractor who had no idea what he was doing, literally had no experience, had the contractor title, had a LLC, a little fancy business card, but the most he could do was maybe hammer in some nails. He didn't know how to do anything, and for that reason, from June of 2018 until August 23rd, 2018, the property basically was at a standstill. He did some very inexperienced plumbing work, some very inexperienced electrical work. He spent almost the entire first and second phase budget, leaving us in a very tight space to fix up the rest of the property, and there was almost no work done. So these hard money companies give you a time window to complete the property. So we had 5 months, and we basically threw away 3 months with no work done. So even though the property wasn't big, we were in a place where we had a quarter of the money gone. We had more than half of the time on the project gone, and we had almost no work completed. So with that being said, we basically, my business partner, who I work almost all my projects and all my businesses and all my whatever I'm working on, that we go hand in hand. We're basically like a unit. He knew somebody, and we basically worked out a deal with him where he came in and helped us with the property. Now, me, I always say I like to be, in the entrepreneur quadrant of the cash flow quadrant. I like to build businesses. I don't like to get my hands dirty. It might be for some people, but it's not for me. And for that reason, what happened is the guy basically agreed to work with us, and we helped him on a project before he started on our project. And then I learned how to do everything. I learned tile, I learned sheetrock, I learned painting, I learned it all. So literally me, my business partner, and his friend for the next longer than that, had to be like, so it was at the end of August, so September, October, November. For 3 months, we worked day and night. I remember even some nights we slept at the property, working all night, trying to catch up on the time and trying to budget the money so that we could fix the property. We even had to come $10K out of pocket because the budget was overspent because of the last contractor messing up the money management. So basically for the next 90 days, even on my birthday, August 24th of 2018, I was at the property working, putting down laminate floors and putting in work to get the property done. So fast forward September, October, November, and I have a separate series on this channel where I break down the whole deal and you guys can see the deal throughout. We're working on the property. The property gets listed in November of 2018, and it finally gets put under contract in February of 2019, and there's a stipulation. The seller wants an extra bathroom. Oh my gosh. So what do? We innovate and we put a bathroom inside the basement. So we had a really good contractor, or basically subcontractor, who basically did all of the HVAC, electrical, and plumbing, because the first contractor who messed up the money, he did all wrong plumbing, all wrong electrical. So we had to find a new guy that we met on a crazy God sent interaction where we met this other guy. He did the plumbing, he did the electrical, and he did the HVAC, and he was a beast at all, and he gave us a really good deal. So for the next 3 months, I know I'm a little all over the place. For the next 3 months, like I said, I have an entire separate playlist where I show you guys step by step of how I did this deal. I will link it down below. We basically grinded it out. I'm talking going up to the property. Keep in mind, it's 30 miles from where I live. Going up to the property 7 days a week at 8, 9 in the morning, and not leaving until some nights 3, 4 in the morning. So we're fixing up the property. We get it. We put it on the market in November. We get it at the end of November. So September, October, November, we're grinding every single day. We put it under contract. A bunch of people come by. They're all like, we don't like the property, or we like it, but it's too small. Somebody finally agrees to it, but they want a basement. They want the bathroom to have, they want a bathroom in the basement. We pioneer a bathroom in the basement, and we finally get to closing. So time constraint, learning everything. I really learned what a flip takes is what I'm trying to emphasize, because a lot of these people online, they show you where the girl has her nails painted and she's swinging the hammer or she's ripping stuff down. But what about the times where the city fails you on an inspection? Because that happened to us like 5-6 times. What about when something goes wrong? What about when somebody runs off with the money? They don't show that part of the deal when you have to come out of your own pocket to finish a project. Because if I didn't finish the project and come out 10K out of my own money, then guess what would have happened? The company who basically owned the property or clouds the title because they're giving you the loan to finance the project, they could take the property. So that's really cool. So in total, how much I made, I spent 7K on closing costs. I had to put 5K down to lock the deal in with the wholesaler. I had to put 5K in with the hard money company, and I had to come out 10K in additional expenses. Now, the 7K for the closing cost, the 5K for the wholesaler, and the 5K for the hard money company, a total of 17K was put on a 0 interest credit card, and then the 10K was my own personal cash. So in total, that came out to 27K, and I made 58K on the deal, so around just around $30,000 in profit. Now, basically, that's how it works. That was my first deal. If you guys want to know more about how I did my first rental property, or how now I'm buying lots and how I have a bunch of things inside my portfolio, let me know and I will break the deal down. Again, thank you guys for watching. The playlist where I actually did this fix and flip will be in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.